Hey gifties, welcome to another episode of What a Gift, the podcast where we're trying to go from drained to sustained. I'm Jule.
And I'm Sarah. Today we're getting into some cultural staples, road trips, and documentaries.
I'm excited.
Me too.
How are you? What's new?
Okay. The house that I live in now has a wood burning fireplace. And let me tell you, Jule, there's nothing like the satisfaction of starting a good fire. I am quickly becoming the queen of it. Put me on Survivor. I will make fire to stay. Yeah, it's awesome. I've just really been liking it. The thing that I forgot about wood burning fires is that your house then smells like a fireplace.
Right, and it's so dry. That's what my problem.
Really?
It drives me out so bad.
Oh,
If there's a fire in the house.
well, we live in Colorado, so I didn't really notice that.
Seriously, dry eyes.
But anyways, I've been doing that this winter, and it's like even at the end of a day where I feel like nothing went my way, I can start a fire.
You go into Eagle Scout mode.
Yeah, it's like I made my bed, I brushed my teeth, and I made a fire. And
hey, that's
I'm
pretty
accomplished.
Good. I know. Once you do watch Survivor, you're like, fire is all that matters. This skill is powerful.
Fire, shelter, food.
Seriously. Outwit, outlast, whatever.
Outplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Anyways, I am on cloud 9. I feel like it's a new skill that I've mastered, and I'm proud of myself.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm feeling good. How are
Nice.
you? What's new?
I'm doing well. I also am building some skills. As we know, I'm trying to become, a good little wife and kind of build my domestic skills, specifically cooking. And so I have recently mastered like chicken pot pie, and specifically like I'll make the chicken pot pie filling and then serve it with like noodles or, like kind of keep it more loose instead of in the pie shell. But I really it sounds so simple. I know, whatever, it's not that hard to make, but like there was just like a moment of me with my Dutch oven on the stove where I'm making like a roux.
Yeah.
And I'm adding the ingredients, and I made a mirepoix and stuff. And I'm like,
what is
okay,
that?
A mirepoix is like the diced onion, celery, carrots. 2 parts onion, 1 part celery, 1 part carrots. But I just was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a wife who just made a mirepoix and is now making a roux. It happened. Trad wife alert. I'm making like the simplest dish ever.
Do you have an apron?
I do have actually such a cute apron from my Aunt Loretta that has cherries on it that I never remember to put on. And I just have like flour and crab all over me. But when I do remember, it really completes the picture. But it's similar to the creating fire. There's something powerful about like these were all just scattered ingredients, and now it's this symphony of flavor that I put together. So I've been trying to try some new dishes, learn some new skills. So
nice.
Yeah.
Go us, girl power.
Seriously. We would survive. I mean, I don't think I can make a roux in Survivor, but I feel like I could. I'll cover the food, you cover the fire. We're making it at least 2 days on an island.
Only if I win that flint, though. If I'm just like
twiddling
sticks
I know
together,
when they just have to make it with
screwed.
like grass and a stick. I'm like, how did anyone ever do this? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I think we should dive in. Sarah,
All right.
what are you unwrapping this week?
I'm unwrapping the gift of road trips.
Okay.
Are you familiar?
I am familiar. I need to stop saying famously. I once moved to California. The fact that you
can change famously to once.
I once moved to California from Pennsylvania and drove the whole way in my old car Celeste.
Oh, yeah.
My 2003 Nissan Sentra. I drove there on the way there with my best friend Morgan.
You stayed at my house.
Friend of the pod. Yeah, I stayed. You were living in Flagstaff. That was my longest road trip. And I drove home with my older brother Anthony.
Okay.
Like 4 years later. And that, I mean,
stayed
that
for a while.
That trip was a wake up call of just like, first of all, I didn't know half of these states touched each other. That was let's just say the geography unit for homeschool was light. And I was discovering so much about our country with every state line we crossed. I was like, no way. This comes next. But also just the realizing, oh my gosh, it's taking us 5 days of heavy driving to get, just kind of realizing the vastness. I feel like
totally
was amazing. But I've had some other ones.
What state surprised you the most? Not geographically, but like,
well, okay. So when it was
Visually.
winter when I moved to California, so we kind of took the southern route or whatever.
Sure.
So I do remember it was so stark. It was like January, there wasn't a lot of vegetation, but like driving through Texas at twilight, kind of with like these like fiery sunsets and the flat, there was something I was like, we are out west, baby. It felt, and like in New Mexico, being on like a 2-lane road with the yellow dotted line and just nothing for miles till the horizon, like things like that, where I was like, oh whoa, this is like a movie, like, so those, and Flagstaff was so fun, and seeing the Grand Canyon was like I don't think anything has lived up to the hype the way the Grand Canyon has. Like I was like, all they could think of was grand for this understatement of the century. I was like, because sometimes you see, like in Philadelphia, for example, if you go see the Liberty Bell, you're like, what the heck? Why did we put this on the agenda? It's so boring. Like, so sometimes those kind of sites are like,
sure,
okay, we checked the box. With the Grand Canyon, I was like, how great thou art. Like I had like a truly spiritual moment of just like, this is huge and awe-inspiring and amazing. Anyway, so I'm just babbling here, but yeah, I've had some fun little road trips. Yeah. But I think a lot is determined by much less by the scenery and much more by who you're with, what you're listening to, what snacks you have, etc.
Yeah. What's your go-to road trip snack? Or snacks? Usually, I mean, you can't pick.
Well, it's funny. Usually. This probably isn't that practical because it gets on your fingers, but on a road trip or a long car ride, I will allow myself to have jalapeno Cheetos.
I love jalapeno Cheetos. They are superior to hot Cheetos.
They're superior to hot, superior to regular. It's like a gourmet item. And I feel like they have high like snack value. Like they're satisfying, So yeah, I feel like that would probably be my pick.
Okay, nice.
What's yours?
It's definitely up there for me. I feel like, it's probably one of the top two. It's either that or if I can go to a grocery store before, I'm getting this has got so specific. If I can go to a grocery store before, I'm getting the Utz flip. Utz.
Yeah. UTZ.
Yeah.
I think it's Utz.
Utz. Okay, I'm getting the Utz brand sour cream and onion chips. They're so good.
Nice.
If I'm at a gas station, I'm gonna go with jalapeno Cheetos and or the smart corn or smart food.
Smart food, yeah.
Like white cheddar popcorn, yeah. And then as far as sweet is concerned, I'm probably gonna go for something sour.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, road trip snacks are definitely necessary. My family was a road trip family. Like anytime we were going somewhere, like our vacation would be a road trip.
Oh, cool.
Like it like not necessarily to get to a destination. Like we would go somewhere for like a couple nights and then come back.
But the fun was in the journey.
The fun was in the journey. And we had this minivan and gifties, especially if you have children. I am not recommending this. I'm just sharing a story from history from my family. Okay. So I don't condone this. I don't recommend you do this, but I must share this is what my family did. They would take out the middle bench of the minivan and put down like blankets and stuff. And
that's really fun.
And then so like we would sit in the back on the back bench, but then we would have freedom to get down onto the floor and lay down and stuff. And we had this like little TV that my parents would then put in between their seats that faced us, that had like, it was a combined TV, VCR or DVD player depending on what year it was. And they would just like give us stuff and we would just put it in and out and we would just be watching movies and stuff, hanging out in the back. It was super fun. And eventually my brothers started plugging in their Super Nintendo back there and stuff. And so they're playing video games. And so like we road tripped in style. It was nice. I love that. Because we made a couple cross country moves. And so there was a few times like we moved from San Diego to DC, and we drove that whole way. And so it was like, I think we took 2 weeks to do it, if my memory serves. And so we stopped at like a few national parks and a few places my parents had always wanted to go or show us. And it's awesome. I feel like road trips in like when you have younger kids, like if your kids can tolerate the car, like I love those memories of being with my family and like stopping at random places and seeing the sights. But as an adult, I loved road trips until recently. I feel like I'm more of an air traveler now, but road trips I kind of have to be convinced to take. But I don't really regret them. It's kind of like, do I have to go to the gym? Like,
right.
I don't feel like doing this thing that's like maybe good for me. I feel like road trips have become that for me. Like most recently, I road tripped to Kansas with some people for a wedding, and I like did not want. I was like, guys, please, can we just fly? Like,
right.
Oh, it's so much easier. But by the time we kind of calculated driving to the airport, parking, going in, getting on the plane, getting off the plane, then renting a car and driving to where the wedding was, it was like, it literally was the exact same time. So let's just drive.
Right.
And so I was overruled, and I'm so glad that I was. It was so fun. Like the memories that came from that, the inside jokes, the stories, the traditions we now have.
Yeah.
Now it's like when we're hanging out and there's a lull, something we did on the road trip was we put on these like beats, like freestyle beats, and everyone like had to take turns like trying to freestyle.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
And it was pretty painful for most of it, but it was so funny. And so now it's like the end of the night is near, and everyone's like someone will like take control of the Bluetooth and just like turn on beats.
Oh
and
my
everyone
gosh.
just starts laughing. So,
that is so funny. Yeah, I feel like because road trips are not very time efficient, it's like, okay, this is going to take a lot of time. Then the challenge is then, okay, well then how can I make this worth this time?
Yeah.
Like where, how can I make it fun, memorable, and relational and all these things? So yeah. But also a solo road trip I also have enjoyed. Like I drove to North Dakota by myself. And it was broken up and made fun because I stopped and saw fun people along the way. But it was, I don't know, it just kind of, like, I would record little, like, news segments along my way or find ways to pass the time or make it fun. Yeah. And I really liked the journey, kind of, because I would rather be on a solo road trip than stuck in a car with someone I don't want to be stuck in a car with. But I feel like there's been a lot. With my siblings, I feel like we had about 2 hours in us before things got so crazy and annoying. We did like drive to Niagara Falls at one point, but mostly it was just like we would drive to the Jersey Shore from Pennsylvania, so nothing too far. But it was like us crammed in the 12-passenger van, there's we're like praying the rosary, we're all like clawing at the windows. So they weren't always super fun, but then like over time, as some siblings grew up and moved away, and then we got a minivan that had a TV in it, or we would listen to we used to listen to this like Christian radio drama.
Oh, okay.
Stay with me. Called Adventures in Odyssey. It was it took place in a little town called Odyssey, and like it was just this like there'd be like a door opens, hey Chris, how are you? And we were obsessed. We had all the cassette tapes of Adventures in Odyssey, and a couple of our other family friends liked it too, and so we would pop a couple of those in and just hit the road.
Cassette tapes.
I know. No. I'm 61 years old.
No, we had those too.
But
a solo road trip that's coming to mind for me is, as we know, I lived in England for a little bit, and my second year in England, I came into possession of a car, it was a minivan actually, and another missionary, his parents lived in England, and they helped me get this car. Anyways, it was like we lived in the south of England. This car was like in kind of the north of England. So basically when I landed at Heathrow, I had to get on a bus going like 2.5 hours in the opposite direction of my home to go stay at this missionary's parents' house for the night, retrieve this car, and then drive it like 4 hours home.
Gotcha. And
I knew before I flew back that it was a manual transmission. So I had to brush up on my stick shift skills. So my sister had this big lifted truck. She's like doing this thing up in the mountains in Colorado. So I go up there and we practice in the world's smallest parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to get, and like once I get it, I'm feeling good. I'm like, okay, great. It was so funny. It took me like an hour, I feel like, to remember, like to figure it out again. But then once I did, I drove it for like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, great. I'm feeling great.
Oh my god.
And my sister's like, are you sure? Like, do you need to practice more? I'm like, no, I for sure have it, which I did. So that was great. So I fly back. I go up there. I get the car. His dad helps me. This missionary's dad helps me like get it road legal and like in my name and all these things.
Oh, wow.
His mom is from Ecuador, and she is very concerned that I have about 5 minutes of experience of driving stick under me, and that now the steering wheel is on the opposite side of the car that I'm used to. I'm going to drive on the opposite side of the road that I'm used to. And so she is like very concerned for me, and she comes out and I'm like getting ready to leave, and she's like, are you sure that you can do this? And I was like, yeah, like no problem. She pulls out a Sharpie from her back pocket and draws an X on my hand so that I remember what side of the road to stay on. And then she's like, will your phone, like, do you have a charger? Like, will your phone be okay? Like, do you know where you're going? I'm like, oh yeah, I have a brand new phone. Like, the battery will for sure last. Like, not a problem. She disappears. She comes back with her phone charger from her car, and she plugs it in to my phone, and then she plugs it into the cigarette lighter, and it pops out immediately. Like, nothing's sticking in there. She disappears. She comes back with duct tape. She duct tapes
Oh my gosh.
the car charger into the cigarette charger. Then she comes back with like double-sided like Velcro tape, and she puts some on my phone and she puts some on the dashboard, and she like Velcros my phone to the dashboard.
Aww.
And then she's like, she's pleading with me every step of this whole thing. She's like, please stay another night. Like, you can practice in our neighborhood and you can leave tomorrow. She's like, please.
This would be making me so nervous. I'd be like, girl, have some faith.
She's like, do not take this journey, please. So I politely say thank you so much for your concern. I am out of here. And I made it home about 4.5 hours later.
Oh my gosh. That's impressive.
It was amazing. And yeah, I was super impressed with myself.
I feel like the skill of driving stick shift it's really cool and good to have under your belt. I never have even attempted, and I always think about, of course, the worst possible case scenario where like have you ever seen the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yes.
Like, you know, at the end they're like getting out of the bunker, like escaping. They only have so much time, and there's like one rickety truck in the barnyard or whatever they are. Like, I always imagine some kind of apocalypse situation where I have to flee and all that's there is stick shift, and I'm just like, well, I'm dead then, because I can't drive that. So I feel like having that is huge.
Yeah, thank you. So that was crazy. I was exhausted after that 4-hour journey. I had to pay such close attention.
I feel like
I got stuck on 2 roundabouts, just going around and around. I couldn't get out.
Sounds terrible.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about like on a road trip, a good playlist will last you for a while, especially if you're by yourself. One you can sing with for sure. But it's fun to have an audiobook that nobody's ever heard that has like a twist or something. Okay. Like when Morgan and I drove to California, I had never seen or heard the story of Gone Girl, so we like popped that in, and but it really passed the time because we were like, what the heck is gonna happen, you know? Like, or like I listened to like a nonfiction autobiography driving to North Dakota that was like, have you heard of, I think it's called Educated, but it's about a girl who grew up in this like really rural like sheltered way, couldn't read or write, and like she kind of like had this crazy dad, and you know, whatever, anyway. And it was so like, I feel like an audiobook that is gripping comes in so clutch on a long drive, like to the point where like then the next day when it's time to get in your car, you're like, oh, what's like looking forward to what happens next. But it's hard to find ones that can definitely do that, but I feel like it makes it really fun. Yeah That's a good point. I should get back into audiobooks. But I do want to take more road trips, like even just simple ones where it's amazing. Like air travel is amazing, but the fact that you can hop in your car, put some gas in it, and by the time it gets dark out, end up somewhere completely different, or see your friend you haven't seen in forever, or go to the ocean, like or you know, for some of us
I was like,
depending on how determined you are. But like that, I don't know. I just feel like I kind of take that for granted and don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously it could be costly for gas and you need to know where you're staying and, you know, but like, I think if you can make those arrangements and if you have that spirit of adventure to just hop in and see what happens, it's super cool that you can drive wherever you want. Like when I lived in California, it was like not lost on me how amazing it was that the ocean was nearby. This is not a road trip, but like, like if I didn't have plans and it was getting towards sunset, I would just hop in my car and drive to the ocean so I could watch the sunset. Like, and I feel like in most places in America, something beautiful is not too far away. Whether it's like rolling farmland or hills or mountains or a body of water, like, and it's like, so hey, why not go find it? I don't know. It's cool.
That's so true. I feel like, it's a much more leisurely experience traveling somewhere. I feel like, well, I'm probably parents of young children are like,
right.
But I feel like in my state of life, it's like a more leisurely like way to get somewhere,
and you can be more spontaneous
than like going to the airport and like fighting crowds and
you have to plan air travel in advance. Like you could literally be like, tomorrow should we do this? Like,
that's true.
Get some gas and do it.
One time I did do that. I rallied some girls like last minute to just like put stuff in the car, and we drove. I think it was 8 or might have been closer to 10 or 12 hours. I don't know. We drove from like northern Colorado to Moab and spent the weekend just like hiking around, and we camped, I think, illegally on the side of the road somewhere. But it was like so fun and spontaneous, and
I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, before, like the year before he met me, Chris was on like, he was kind of just having the year of Chris, like where you like deleted all the dating apps and was like adventuring around. And he always talks about like he like drove to Alaska and like spent the night in his car and went to a national park there, and he was seeing different national parks. And now I'm like, I am weighing this man down, because I'm like, if he was like, we'll sleep in the car, I'd be like, no, we won't. Sorry, no. Like I feel like he was able to be so spontaneous that year, and now I'm like, where are we sleeping? Where am I showering? And what's the plan? But I feel like he has that kind of like explorer spirit, and I'm like, okay, stop stifling him and let's tap into it, and maybe we should drive somewhere fun. Yeah.
Wow, road trips. Yeah, so that's a great gift to me since the beginning of my time here on this beautiful planet. So
it is a beautiful planet. And road trips can awaken that awareness.
So true. You know what also teaches us about beauty and the planet? Documentaries.
Yes, thank you for teeing me up. My gift this week may feel random, and it is. But my gift this week is documentaries. So I love a good documentary, and I love learning. And if I'm going to read a book, I want it to be a fun story. Like, I'm not going to read a book about, you know, a dry subject, but documentaries can bring to life like these drier subjects in a way where I am hooked and I'm gripped. So I really enjoy them, and I feel like it's a medium that, I mean, that people have made it comedic with all the like documentary like knockoff shows. It's funny to pretend you're doing a documentary on your own Instagram stories maybe, but it's also just fun to hunker down with a documentary. And like for most of, I feel like in order for a documentary to get greenlit and like made and to be on a major streamer, like there's got to be something to it. Like it has to be worth knowing, or there has to be some kind of twist. So you can kind of be like liberal and bold with, I'm just going to pop this one on, because if someone went to all this trouble to make it and get it funded, like chances are there's something to it. You know what I mean? So obviously my number one all-time doc is the documentary sports series, The Last Dance. Okay. Have you seen it?
I would not have said that was obvious at all.
Well, it's obvious because it's the best documentary in the world. It's not obvious because of who I am. It's obvious because of
what it is.
Okay. It's sublime. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Sarah, it's so good. Okay. I've watched it twice through, and it's like 10 episodes.
Oh, wow.
And it's about Michael Jordan, and specifically about the Chicago Bulls during their peak time, the three-peat, etc. And I really, as someone who doesn't watch basketball, who didn't grow up in Chicago, and who's famously young, I don't know much about Michael Jordan. I kind of just knew of him as like more of just like a cultural icon / motif, but not really like how he got there.
Okay.
This documentary is so interesting and inspiring and like so gripping. And he like you start to just love these basketball players and root for them, and the coach. Like I can't recommend highly enough. And you may be like, well, I don't watch sports documentaries. Neither do I. Neither did I. Neither have I continued after this. This transcends genre. It's a human epic. Like, it's so good. And then, so it's like one of my coworkers is from Chicago and did grow up right at the time that the Bulls were going through all this. And I suddenly came into work with like wide eyes. I was like, tell me, what was it like? You know, like I randomly bought a huge Chicago Bulls t-shirt that I sleep in. Like the documentary, like really, I just was so amazed by it. So that's my top for sure. Do you have a top? Number one.
Does How It's Made count?
Sure.
Oh, okay. That
does picture on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood count? That's actually, I was thinking that was probably our first brush with documentaries.
I feel like, I guess I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, I don't know. I've maybe not watched one that I'm like, oh, I would watch that time and time again.
Yeah.
But standouts for me are How It's Made was kind of a joke. But I do, I mean, if it's on, I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Usually it is.
Yeah. And then, but it's a side note about How It's Made is funny because it's always usually like an off-brand version of whatever. Right. Whatever it is. Anyways, okay, most recent ones I've been watching are Welcome to Wrexham, which is about like Ryan Reynolds and what's his name from It's Always Sunny,
Rob McElhenney.
Yeah, they buy like a failing football club and turn it around, and it's actually really, really good. I know people have opinions about both those gentlemen, but I have watched, I think, and I also kind of share that opinion. I was like, okay, they're just doing this to get rich, but it's like 4 seasons in, I think, at this point, and they like know. Like there's the documentary highlights like certain mega fans and key community people and players, obviously, and coaching staff and stuff. And the like Ryan and Rob like love this town. Like they love these people. They know them. They let them into their lives. Like it's been really cool to see them just like fall in love with like this project basically, and the project become like family to them. It's been really cool, and I hope that it's true. I don't know, maybe it's for the cameras, but it seems authentic. So I've been liking that. A really interesting documentary that I've watched is called Manhunt, and it was basically the hunt for Osama bin Laden, like after 9/11. It was on HBO. It is on HBO, and it's like it will rip your heart out. Like it's like it talks about like just like information that we knew pre 9/11, but like it was just kind of not listened to or missed. And there's like just it's really. I feel like you learn a lot about what was going on at the time, but then also just some of these poor people who felt like responsible. Like I should have fought harder for people to listen to me, and maybe it wouldn't have happened and stuff. So it's just like kind of an intense one. And then Firefest. Did you ever watch that?
I love like a one-off documentary about a random disaster.
That was crazy.
I did not watch that. I didn't watch this either, but for some reason earlier this year a documentary was trending called Poop.
Yes. Yes. I didn't watch it, but I've heard about it.
That title is so funny.
And then I think it's only a matter of time before a movie or a documentary is made about the Louvre robbing, but
one can only hope.
2
other ones I like that are older. I was obsessed in high school with this documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Okay.
And it's about like street artists, specifically Banksy, and like and in the beginning you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's a documentary about Banksy, and you know how Banksy's like identity is like hidden. So he like whenever he talks to the camera, it's like he's hidden and it's his voice is distorted and stuff. So for the first half you're kind of like, oh my gosh, cool, a documentary about street artists. And then by the end you're like, wait, was this a piece of art by Banksy, this documentary? Like you suddenly are doubting like, wait, did Banksy do this documentary and is it all a farce? You know what I mean? Like, or was it, you know, like it kind of is one of those ones where like you're like, what's true? But I remember like loving that and being like the annoying person who made all my friends watch it. I watched it a million times. And then another one, like I feel like this is a good example of one that's about something so random that I would never have learned about.
Okay.
Have you watched or heard of the Barkley marathons?
No.
Okay. The documentary itself, wasn't like the most amazingly made documentary, but the topic was so interesting. So it's about this super marathon that occurs in the Black Hills of Tennessee.
Whoa.
And it's like very secretive and it's really hard. And it's like in these 20-mile circles through the thick of the Black Hills of Tennessee in this like
So how long
national
is the
park.
race? Like,
I think it's like 3 days, 100 miles.
Okay.
But you have to complete one circle per day kind of thing.
Okay.
And like there's some years where no one finishes, some years where one person finishes. And it's like this eccentric guy started the marathons and it only costs like $1.50 to register, you know, compared to all these expensive marathons. But like he only chooses a certain amount of people. And like,
wow.
And every year he asks them to bring like some kind of, like in addition to their payment of like whatever those small prices, he'll like you have to bring one thing. Like one year he asked everyone to bring like flannel shirts or like like they just you have to bring some kind of object that he asks for, and the race isn't like marked at all. It's like so easy to get lost, and the way that you prove that you actually did the complete circles is like there are these checkpoints and you have to. Everyone has like a paperback book and you have to rip out a certain page of your book and like leave it in a Ziploc bag at the checkpoints. Anyway, I'm getting way too in the weeds, but it was just something so bizarre that I was like, I cannot believe this exists and I've never heard of it, where there's these crazy people running 100 miles in the thick of the forest in Tennessee, you know, like, and there's so many quirks and oddities to it. But yeah, like I said, the actual documentary, like, because it's such a intense thing, like the camera doesn't follow them through the whole race, so you kind of get snippets. So it's not perfect, but I was like, this is crazy. This is happening. And I love ones like that just like unveil a thing where you're like, no way. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I love that one.
Another running one is someone trying to run a sub 2 hour marathon. Whoa. And it's crazy to watch. It's like this, I mean, yeah, it's crazy watching someone like push themselves to absolute limits. And I don't think it technically counted because they were like running behind people and like behind a car and stuff. And so there's something about like the draft wins and whatever that like kind of disqualify it from being like an actual thing. But it was fascinating to watch all these people do that. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I love ones that like the triumph of the human spirit type ones. One genre that's popular that I would say has issues is true crime.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like, but some of it is shedding light on some, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, the family wants to tell their story, or you know, like when it's like that, I like it. But I do think in general our culture / nation's obsession with true crime is like,
it's desensitizing us for
problematic.
sure.
And it's just like, desensitizes, it depersonalizes the victims, a bunch of things. That being said, have you seen the documentary Unknown Number?
No.
Okay. Well, it was trending at the end of 2025. And it's about like the young students in Michigan who were being cyberbullied, and then it turned out like it was should I not say? Well,
no, you should say it.
It turns out it was like the girl's mom who was cyberbullying. It's crazy.
Which is crazy.
But that the only reason I watched it is because it was so trending so much and people were making such funny TikToks and tweets and videos about it that I was like, oh, I gotta find out what this is. But I would say in general, the true crime genre can be a bit exploitative. Yeah. But I just love learning a little something. And I feel like when you're just like, what the heck are we gonna watch? And you just feel done with, you're not in the mood for any genre of movie, then it's like, why not throw on
the
a
brain
doc?
Yeah learn some things.
And let me just say one more time, if you haven't seen The Last Dance, you gotta watch it. It's so good.
I'll add it to my list.
I want to rewatch.
Toward the top.
Yeah.
Thanks for the rec.
Yeah, I love them. And Gifties, actually, seriously, if you have any documentary recommendations, please DM us, because sometimes you need a referral, because there are so many that like it's a needle in the haystack, you know. So if you can actually vouch for one, I love a good rec.
I think that has been my problem. I feel like recently I'll try to put on a documentary and like within the first few minutes I'm like, boring.
And sometimes you're like, I need someone to tell me there's a good twist or that it's worth sticking around to the end.
And then sometimes the good ones, it's like, again, why is this so many episodes? Like, it could have been just one longer one, you know?
Oh my gosh, with The Last Dance, I was like,
do you like the nature ones, like
double
Earth
as many?
like
Yeah.
animal ones?
I think they could be interesting, especially ones that inspire awe, like where you're seeing cool animals you wouldn't otherwise see or whatever, but they can be a little
like
bit of
non-zoo animals.
But like it can be soothing, that like something like Planet Earth or something, you know, that's just like beautiful and interesting.
Sure.
There's a time and place for sure.
Does Love on the Spectrum count as a documentary, or is that
it's a reality show? But I would say reality shows can be loosely documentary style.
Yeah,
but
I just feel like that one's not. It doesn't seem super scripted or something, you know. But
yeah, but neither is The Great British Bake Off. But it's not a documentary. Sorry.
Okay. You're right. We're done here.
Sarah,
but not
forgive
without
me for coming down so hard on you there. I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
I'm excited to hear what the gifties recommend. Thanks for your recommendations.
Seriously, please DM us.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear.
I have a lot of plane travel coming up. Unfortunately, not many road trips, but I feel like it's time to download some docs.
Yeah.
And learn and get out of my sitcom era.
Get out of the numbed out, like,
yeah.
Maybe I won't watch You've Got Mail for the 20th time on a plane and I'll actually learn something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love it.
Okay, what a gift indeed.
Let's do a little final segment.
Yeah.
Let's do my gift to you.
Let's.
This is the segment where we just give each other a little recommendation, a hot tip, something we've been enjoying or that we've learned.
Yeah.
Do you want to start or should I?
I can totally start. It is a little bit of a pricey thing. It was like, it'll set you back about $100 unless you find it on sale. I have bought a cheaper version on Amazon and it is not worth it. Like you need to invest. Okay. But it is a thermal brush. It's like it's like a round brush that heats up. So it's not a blow dryer. It just you plug it in, you turn it on like a curling iron. But it's like soft bristles and like it's an actual round brush that heats up. Anyways, I get compliments on my hair pretty much every day ever since I use this, and I use it almost every day.
Wow.
It gives you such a lovely blowout look, and it's so nice because I'm a nighttime shower hair wash person, and so
it freshens things up.
Well, yeah, so I can go to bed with like wet hair if I need to, and I don't have to like blow dry my hair in the morning to get that look. And so and so then when I wake up, I just boom boom bam.
Wow.
I look amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I go about my day.
I'm jealous. I have like 4 hairs total on my whole head. I try to hide it well, but I have such fine hair, so like nothing, no tools ever worked the way they do for other people, but maybe I'll try it. I start crying.
We could try.
No, but I love that. That's a good rec. And Sarah's hair always does look fab.
Thank you so much. Currently,
people turn on the video, they're like, Mom. We'll catch her next time. I'm just kidding. You look great.
What about you? Give me a gift.
Oh, yes. Okay, so my gift to you, Sarah, is don't panic. It's actually a little recipe that I just used. So I was leaving for a couple days, and I wanted to make sure Chris wasn't scrounging around with no food. So
nice
like I referenced at the beginning of this episode, I made like a bunch of chicken pot pie filling, and then I wanted to make some biscuits to go with it. And this wonderful little stay-at-home dad on TikTok clued me in to the fact that you can make amazing, perfect biscuits with 2 ingredients: self-rising flour and heavy whipping cream.
Whoa.
Okay. So it was literally, I can't remember the ratios. This is the worst gift ever.
I also didn't tell you the brand of the thermal roll.
Yeah. Guys, do some hunting for both of these. But I'm pretty sure it was 1 cup self-rising flour to 2 cups heavy cream. Okay. Something like that. Okay. And I just mixed it up, rolled it in a ball, rolled it out, and cut out the little biscuit shapes. Wow. And it made perfect biscuits. That's amazing. I was kind of like, they're probably going to be like
dry and weird.
Yeah, strange. And this is just like a little hack that's not actually going to work. It made perfect biscuits. And
no
Chris
salt, no butter in them?
I added salt to taste. Yeah. And then you can butter them later if you want or whatever. But, and then you brush heavy cream on the top. And, okay, this was the craziest part.
Whoa.
normally baking, you cook things at 350, right? Like that's what I would think. You cook them at 475.
Whoa.
Isn't that's like
Scorched
pizza
earth.
oven?
That's
like
crazy.
yeah. But they were so golden and perfect.
Wow.
10 to 11 minutes. So 2 ingredient biscuits.
Oh my
Try it, you
gosh.
guys. Let me know.
That is a gift to us.
It was crazy. I seriously was like, well, I'll give it a whirl. No one has to know when this goes horribly awry, and they turned out so good. So,
Chris, let us know.
Yeah,
how were they?
Trad wave strikes again.
How were they? Were they good?
Well, this has been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Gifties, we love ya. Thanks for listening. Share the pod with a friend. Give us a review. Like, subscribe. Also, we love the little comments on Spotify and elsewhere, hearing what you think or chiming in on the topic. So never feel shy. And yeah. Oh, and you can find us both on Instagram. I'm at Copacabana. The O is a 0.
And I'm at Sarra Raw. And as always, gifties, life truly is a gift. So receive it.
Bye.
Bye.